Growing up, I was a skater boy with a group of friends from the neighborhood. One of them was Jorge Masvidal. Yes, that Jorge Masvidal.
Is brought to you by Modelo.
We were pretty tight. My brother and I would skate with him and hung out at his house all the time playing video games. We grew up with each other and went to high school together. When I was 17, my brother and I shared my dad's car, a maroon Toyota Corolla. We had just gotten the car back from the body shop after my brother crashed it. So I was cruising around the neighborhood bored and looking to hang out with some friends. I pulled up to my buddy Ernie's house when I saw him hanging outside with George and this other guy, Chris. I pulled the car up alongside the driveway, left it running with the keys in it, and jumped out to say what's up. As I'm hanging out with the guys, George jumps in the driver's seat of my running Corolla and proceeds to go on a joyride around the neighborhood. I figured he was just going to take it around the block and come back, but as the minutes rolled on, I started getting nervous. What if he crashes it? We just got it fixed. My dad is going to kill me. About 10 or 20 minutes passed and I walked back to my house and I called the cops. Miami-Dade PD showed up and I told the cop what happened. This lazy slob of a cop then proceeds to gaslight me, telling me if he has to enter the car as stolen, then I'm liable and I could be charged for negligence because I left the keys in it. Which was bullshit, but I didn't know any better. I was 17. I definitely didn't want to file charges. I just wanted my car back, and I just did what I thought I was supposed to do when somebody takes your car. But the cop was having none of it, so he left and I walked back to Ernie's house. An hour or two had passed at this point, and I was pleasantly surprised to see my ugly Corolla back where I left it without a scratch on it. So I started it up and drove back to my house. Over the next few weeks, George and I would have beef with each other. I was pissed because I felt disrespected, and I think George was pissed because he found out I called the cops on him. One day in school, between periods, our paths crossed in the hallway. We shared some words and ended up chest to chest, waiting for the other to take a swing. I shoved him, he shoved me, and then things began escalating as you would expect. Security broke it up before the punches really started flying, which was good for me because in reality, George would have probably kicked my ass. But I was more than happy to roll the dice. I don't think either of us really wanted to fight. We were just a couple young dudes with some raging testosterone and pent-up aggression. The years would roll on and we just stayed away from each other. He'd go on to do his thing in the backyard fight scene and I'd do my thing, staying out of trouble and starting the police academy. As I matured into my career, I watched similar beefs play out between teenagers and young adults. Raw examples of this built-in instinct for conflict, thug life honor, and street justice. But tragically, I saw many of them escalate far beyond the little squabble I had. I saw young people being shot and killed over the most petty of personal slights. Something as simple as one dude stepping on another dude's shoe could be the spark that ignites an endless cycle of escalating violence and retaliation. Parents' houses and cars getting shot up, funerals getting shot up, innocent bystanders being murdered in the process. It becomes a societal cancer, and it needs to be ruthlessly cut out by overwhelming, unrelenting, and unrepentant force. Equally, I saw many examples of people calling the cops, not to truly solve a problem, but to weaponize armed agents of the government against their perceived enemies. In many cases, against the very people they used to love. Scorned lovers against their exes. Friends against their former friends. I look back on the time I called the cops about my car, and I wonder if that cop was really a lazy slob after all. Maybe he was actually wise. Maybe he was the voice of reason as I was seeing red during a momentary flood of anger and rage. I think about what that call would have looked like today in the age of body cameras and discretionless adherence to felony protocol. I can easily see that stolen vehicle report getting rubber stamped and carried out by the machine without a second thought. I think about the unintended ripple effect it may have had. How might it have altered history? So today, lazy slob or not, I'm eternally grateful to that cop who had better things to do than entertain a petty high school beef. It was incredibly inspiring to watch George's ascension to megastar status, especially having first-hand knowledge of his humble origins. Today, I see him as an American hero, not just because of his inspirational underdog story, but because he stuck his neck out and stood firm on his beliefs, at a time when doing so could catch you a lot of flack from the mainstream normies. He spoke for a lot of us, and used his platform to help shift our world in a better direction. He's a busy guy, but I've since met up with him to show some love, bury the hatchet, and tell him I appreciate him. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this story, but if you do happen to watch this, George, thank you for all you've done, brother. You can borrow my car anytime you want. Young people, especially dudes, are going to do some stupid shit from time to time. They're going to talk shit, catch beef, catch hands, and play stupid games with each other. It's a part of the human condition. I just hope somebody with a level head, wisdom, and foresight is around to prevent a petty grudge from becoming a life-altering tragedy. So I guess the moral of the story is, I went toe-to-toe with the guy with the fastest knockout in UFC history, and it was a draw. Thanks for watching.